We often find ourselves drifting out of spells of happiness we wish to cling on to, but a bout of depression is lurking around the corner to take away what we constantly thrive for. The root of the problem is just the thing we are seeking. If we get this unwelcome feeling, it's obviously something we want changed with our life, whether it be a change of the heart or the simplicity of obtaining an object. This desire of change will throw you into a place we really don't wish to be, and it's a really hard one to escape once you get into the loop, once the wheels start turning. Desire, the want, the needs, it's an endless circle of obtaining and losing. Now ask yourself, what do you really need to be happy? Besides the necessities of life to keep you in what we know as consciousness, food, water, etc., what could you possibly obtain that would forever bring you joy, contentment, that beautiful floating feeling? Could it be love, power, money, recognition, some itemized object you've ever been hoping to hold on to, or even just traveling and seeing what there is to see? If you obtain any of these things you seek, of course you'll find a bloom of happiness and life will be oh so perfect. But that's only until your short tracked mind loses a great obsession from your obtainment, only to go looking for the next stone to turn. Now, perhaps you realize that anything you can gain can simply be loss, and you know that nothing you could possibly grasp will bring you infinite joy. Well, it may seem pretty devastating, making that realization maddening. Like, am I just stuck on the roller coaster of life, being tossed and thrown around from happy to sad, ups and downs, good times, bad times? Unfortunately, if you see it this way, then that's what you have in store for yourself. So, what are we to do to fight this? You can't start a revolution. For whom would you be waging this war against? You can't blame your predicament and point fingers on others for where you are and how you feel now. You can't pass the buck. Well, you could do that, but it's just a game of nowhere. It's a game of tag. Everybody can pass the blame till it's so far in the past you might think, well, the only way to fix this mess is to start a clean slate. And to me, that just would make our lives seem even more meaningless than what they already are. You have the responsibility to put yourself where you are at today. The past is determined by the future, or the present, and same goes for the future. The past is determined by the present, and the same goes for the future. Allow your brain to pick at that for a moment. Now back to the matter of gaining our eternal happiness. As I said, what could you possibly obtain that would bring this? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever will bring you this, yet we always seek out the next great big thing in our lives. But what we have in the present, right now, is all you need to satisfy your soul. It's like, have you ever gone vacationing thinking it will be oh so great to leave town, spice up your life, go sightseeing, just simply enjoying something outside of the daily norm? Well, most of the time when we go on these vacations, even a couple weeks out, we're dreading being out. We just can't wait to be home again. We're just homesick. We just want to get back to the norm. But as soon as you start making your journey back home, you just can't wait to leave again. Or another example is when we finally save up enough money to treat ourselves and buy something extravagant. The immediate joy comes, and then sooner or later it just eventually dies. We simply lose our fascination and get bored, and we once again have another craving to fill. We always end up seeing something else we need. It's just like kids after Christmas. Even if you got them everything they want on their wish list, by the end of January, you more than likely could probably get another list. And now it's not to say we no longer care for the things we've obtained, such as finding a loved one, but sooner or later we have that spark, that desire we captured, that needs to be filled again, and desire will take over our attention. So we feel we constantly have to change or buy things, move on from where we are now, or we get that feeling of dullness in our life. We so often look for change, usually finding out we've been content with the consistency we've had. But change is the only consistency. So looking at it that way, satisfying these cravings isn't also bad. Just be careful of what needs you feel to satisfy. Or perhaps question yourself from time to time. Do I really need this, or is it just a want? I can hold off until another time, perhaps a rainy day treat, when you need that for yourself. Be it though we need experiences and change to define other aspects of our lives, and be it known you will never know what might come of what. But truth is, you already have eternal happiness. It's not an object, but a state of mind. A feeling we have learned to separate from those times when things weren't so cheery and bright. We would never know happiness unless we've experienced something that didn't make us feel that way. It's the yin and the yang, the black and the white. You can't see one without the other. Everything we know is defined by opposition and contrast. And it's Alan Watts makes a great example of this using sound. There's no such thing as pure sound. It's a wave of vibrations with intervals of silence. You can only make out sounds because you hear the silent pauses in between the vibrations you're picking up. Without silence, you simply would have no sound. And everything works that way. Light works the same way with our vision. We must have opposition in play in order to make something out, to outline what we know. There wouldn't be mountains without valleys. There would be no hot if there was no cold, no good without bad, and etc. There's always another side. It was Buddha who stated, "We suffer because we desire." Now, as I said before, it's not all bad to fulfill these cravings. For what happens if you decide to no longer if you decide to no longer desire? Well, you're just in that paradox loop again, and it's an impossible task. You'll find yourself desiring not to desire. So there's no shaking this cloud. It's always seeming to be lingering. But you aren't always going to be able to satisfy your wants and needs. Just maybe when you're trying to do so, you reach a wall you can't get past, and a desire's raining down on you. Anger, depression, anything but happiness is on the mind. And really, that's all we're trying to reach. We're simply just labeling it and forgetting the real state of mind to what it is. We're putting materials and other things behind the true meaning of happiness when it's just a state of mind. Finding this state of mind in a time of depression or anger could be difficult, but it's far from impossible. Some people can have a horrible day, and by the end of the night, they're still laughing about the troubles they've encountered. And there's a good saying for this. And many people I know don't like it, but it couldn't be any more truthful and applies to every situation. It is what it is. Now you can respect what it is and accept what it is, or you can try and be the center of the universe and have a pity party because it isn't what you want it to be. The first option seems to work out more often than not. But I've never considered myself to be lucky and try the second one too often. We just mustn't feel attacked and fall victim to ourselves in these crises of misfortune. If we do not wish to feel troubled or damaged, then don't feel that way. Don't attach yourself to those emotions. There's always a positive outlook if you dig deep enough, and even in the worst cases. Everything you've experienced, everything you've ever experienced is turned into how you interpret the universe and understand its functions. It reveals who you are and where you wish to be. Those who see inconveniences and tragedies as bad will live sour lives, waiting for the rain to clear. I'll just think, when will things get better? Just continue on in their sorrow, but those who see moments as an opportunity to grow will flourish and obtain bliss because they're getting the point. They're seeing beyond their emotions. Now, there's nothing wrong with seeking change and fulfilling desires, but if you wish to keep happiness along the entire path of obtainment, you must allow every bit of change to work for you. It's your doing and your interpretation of where you are and how you feel. If you wish to be happy, then just simply think happy.